You straight up cuckooed that dude, bro. Oh my God.
You've got all your Charger gear on because
I look good. I got big energy every day. Let's go!
And he is dicked.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
That's right.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin Herbert.
On the move and throws and touchdown.
Players, coaches, staff, fans, together we can create something truly special.
Stay tuned for some good content.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the shamelessly positive Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Wolldog, sitting with my buddies, Kev, Hug, and Duggan.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Oh, baby. And Kyle, the coach, Duggan. Whoa. No words.
Shotgun.
Just shotgun being done.
100, baby.
100 freaking episodes.
Well,
We did it.
Coach.
Jeez.
Proud of
we
you.
couldn't have thought of a better way to celebrate, man.
I was rolling through. What are my options here? Like, this is a big deal. 100 episodes.
100
didn't-
episodes.
People actually listen to this thing 100 episodes later.
Yeah.
Gotta shotgun something.
Love it.
Got to do something, folks. Again, sorry about last week. It was
I'd like to take the
pandemonium.
moment to take responsibility for this. My computer died. It full on died on me.
That was a
And
big thing.
It happened like
R.I.P.
my apologies. I take full responsibility for the shit show that was last week. But thanks to Adam, he came in clutch, did our awesome 99.5 episode, Kiss FM, killed it.
It was crazy that it's taken 99 episodes for something to go wrong where it's like, no,
For
we just
real, that
can't
was
do
like-
it.
That was the first time that's ever happened
The
to
first
us.
time in our history that something just completely died, just dead, just couldn't bring it back.
Just shit itself.
So-
Just shit the bed.
Thank you, folks, for sticking with us again. 100 episodes. I cannot believe it. And what better way, folks, for us to start off this 100th episode than our very own Kyle the Coach Duggan being the first of the Charger Chat pod to step foot into SoFi Stadium.
Motherfucking stadium. I'm so jealous right now.
We've been like anxious to talk to Kyle about what it was
He hasn't
like.
told us anything. He's
Hasn't
saving
told
it
us
for this
anything.
moment right
Yeah,
now. He hasn't
this
said
is the
shit.
moment. So Kyle, we're all anxious to hear. How was it?
It was a crazy experience. Like from everything, from getting off the freeway and driving through Inglewood and then pulling up to this gigantic, beautiful $1 billion stadium. I mean, it was just, I don't know. Like I'm still kind of processing. I just went last night. It was yesterday. I'm still kind of processing everything. I didn't get to walk around the entire stadium because we got there a little bit late. There was like a whole concert and stuff. I showed up right at
That's
the
right.
beginning of
You
practice.
You weren't there for the Offspring.
Yeah, I caught the end of Offspring, and
Pretty
let me
flat
tell
for
you,
a
those
white guy.
guys are no spring chicken anymore. Dear goodness,
Pretty
There's
flat for an
men
old
up
guy.
there. Yeah, but yeah, it was so fun. Especially, it's just like the stupid narrative of we don't have fans is just ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
there was a lot of people there. And like if some of these stadiums that I've seen them doing these kinds of things, they close down the top, like the top seats up high, and they make everyone sit down close to the field so it looks fuller. But all of our fans, we wanted to sit in our actual seats, so it looked a little bit scattered. But as you look, there was a lot of people there.
Yeah,
and
I
all
saw
of
the
them Charger
numbers.
fans.
I saw the numbers come out, and I want to say, I might not have this 100% correct, but it was about 30,000 fans at FanFest.
Yeah.
And which broke the previous record, which was, I think, in 2014, where they had like 18,000 and change. And as a
Shit.
comparison, the Raiders had their FanFest as well, and they only had about 20,000. So
Boom, 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 boom. FTR.
That's right.
For life.
Family, trust, respect.
Respect.
So awesome. So you got to be there with 30,000 people. How many recognized you?
Yeah, well, I had the mask on a little bit.
Sure.
Kind of plan. I don't know. I'm very uncomfortable in that setting. I think I'll have a lot more fun with that idea when you guys are there with me and we can all do it together. I don't know. It's just weird. I did see 3 guys that were I saw Justin Savercool, Sheik Soto, and Mike Nava, and it was awesome.
Which one told you Huggin rules? Because I got to get them a shirt.
Mike Nava was the first one to see me after you tweeted that. So
sick.
There you go.
It's got to be, Mike, I think gets the W for the free Charger Chat t-shirt.
Awesome.
But it was awesome to see him. I don't know. It's like you don't really have, we do our fan focuses and things, but being able to see them in person and
interact.
Congratulate. They bought me and dad a beer, which was really, I was like, are you guys sure you want to do this? This feels weird. Like, I'll buy you a beer. You listen to our show.
There you go.
But yeah, it was cool getting to talk to them, and I got to meet like some of their family that they had with them, and yeah, it was fun talking Chargers and like hearing what they were excited about and everyone's first reaction to SoFi Stadium.
Right.
It was pretty. Yeah, it was a really fun experience.
So Papa Duggan was your +1 to this event.
Yeah.
And what was his reaction?
He was the same thing. Yeah, it was like this. It's just crazy driving through Inglewood and then driving up to this gigantic stadium.
Right.
And it's right next door to the Coliseum, the old Coliseum where the Lakers used to play and stuff. It's literally adjacent. So it was cool pulling in and him telling some of the stories of Laker games he saw there and stuff. And it's building right on top of that history where SoFi is now. So yeah, it was a pretty cool experience. And that Oculus, holy smokes, dude. It is crazy. It's like my dad was like, I want to watch it. I'm having trouble watching the field because I just want to watch everything going on the big screen because it's so clear and it's like so much more in detail than watching from the seats. So yeah, it's a pretty incredible thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So excited to go for that Cowboys game, man.
That's gonna be awesome.
The one thing I'll say, you guys need to start practicing when we watch, even when we're watching preseason games. Every time that they score, there's a cannon that goes off. They had a cannon at the queue. They done the cannon before.
Right.
It is shit your pants loud. We got scared every single time. The people that were sitting in front of us, other season ticket holders, they finally started turning around and reminding me and dad because it would go off. It would be like, God. It's so. I was like, Dad's gonna die here. We need a reminder. Put it on the screen or something. Like, cover your ears.
3,
it's that loud.
2, 1.
It's that loud. So start practicing now when you're watching games on TV.
Awesome.
Like, oh, we scored. Plug your ears.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm sure. I bet when the stadium is completely full of fans, that might actually help kind of dampen some of the.
It might be, but our seats are right next to it.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, never mind then.
It's like 10 sections away from where our seats are. It's on that same side of the field, so it's really loud. You can feel it.
Awesome.
I love it. I can't wait.
So, and then speaking of seats, this is your first time not just going to the stadium, but seeing the seats that we're going to be going to. How were they?
It's just a magical thing. I don't know. It's just like we had season tickets. My dad had season tickets when I was a kid at the queue, and it just felt like a legacy thing, especially going and taking him to now the season tickets that I pay for. And that's such a big part of why we love football, why we love sports, why we love the Chargers is it's just the community and our family with me, Kevin, my dad. It's like one of the biggest things that we bond over. So yeah, it was a really cool experience just sitting there and seeing all the people around us that hopefully we see every Sunday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it, man.
Okay, so you mentioned how many people were there. What was the energy like? Was it just like everybody just totally stoked and happy? Were people crying or were they on their knees? Like, I imagine that I might shed a tear or two when we finally get to step into this stadium. But what was like the general consensus? Was everybody just hyped as heck?
Yeah, everyone was. And the way that it worked, it was like, so when we first came, the Offspring concert was going on, but it wasn't on the field. It was kind of in another section on the outskirts of the stadium. So the guys were on the field, like throwing, warming up, getting ready, because the practice was just basically like a scrimmage, an inter squad scrimmage. So it started with punts and stuff. And so everyone was kind of like, oh, cool, punt. And then
I mean,
when like Justin
gotta
took
do
the
it.
field, when Justin took the field, like you could feel the energy of like, oh, and like the first couple series, I would say the energy, it was really loud. Everyone was hooting and hollering. And yeah, everyone was super into it for sure. And for the most part, everyone was very encouraging and positive.
Yeah, I think, I mean, you can't avoid it right now, folks. If you've seen whatever's been going on in regards to how FanFest went, the big story, unfortunately, that's coming out of it is the kicking competition. Everything that we had hoped, we know what to expect from Badgley, and apparently he delivered 3 for 6, missing 3 field goals from over 40 yards, booed off the field. So we're like, okay, we still got Tristan Vizcaino, we've still got Alex Kessman. These guys have to be better, right? Well, Tristan apparently went 4 for 6, missing from 38 and 49, also got booed. And then Alex Kessman only went 2 for 6 on his field goals, and from my understanding, got a couple of boos as well.
So I'm just gonna do the math. Vizcaino, the volcano, he had the better numbers. He's the guy,
Or none of them. Somebody
I know.
completely different.
clean slate.
I mean, I don't know what to do with the kicking situation. I mean, it's obviously it's not up to me to make the decision.
Yeah.
But you got to imagine that these guys, the coaches and the rest of the staff, are aware that like this is a problem. Like you can't be missing these field goals in these situations, right?
Right.
And I think what you tell me, you were there because it sounded like they were icing them. They were doing a whole bunch of stuff to throw them off their game. They were playing in front of fans again. Like Badgley didn't kick any field goals last year in front of fans with any noise, really. They had like the piped in stuff. So I just don't know what's going on with Badgley. It's the same thing that I thought going into this, training camp.
Well,
I'm worried about him. He's not kicking it into the end zone on kickoffs either.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't like these guys were missing because of the environment. There was no rush. The special teams, like the defense, didn't rush the kicker. And he was not iced. They moved the ball around. He kicked the ball 3 times in a row. So when we scored, he got to kick the extra point, and then they moved it back 10 or 15 into a hash, and he kicked again. And they moved it over, and he kicked again. So it was very much like a practice. It was not, hey, you're sitting on the sideline, come out and kick. He just was not hitting. He was not hitting them. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like,
right.
He was not good. The one thing I will say, just watching the way they kick the ball, Tristan Vizcaino, when he kicks it, the ball explodes and it gets up in the air. It's like it just looks different when you, especially because you get to watch them back to backs, like they did at FanFest.
Right.
It's like when he hits the ball, it's like boom, it pops up and gets up in the air, as opposed to badges that are always seem to be like lower line drive type,
just
kicks.
like missing the tips of
just barely
linemen's
getting
fingers,
just barely crossing.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know what the answer is. Like Adam said, it's not my call. All I'm going to do is support whoever's on wearing a bolt on their helmet.
Exactly.
I understand frustration. I've been a Charger fan since the day I was born. I've seen Nate Kading
born into frustration.
I've seen Nate Kading ruin the best teams that we've ever had. I understand the frustration of not having a good kicker, but I personally, I didn't boo, and I was kind of shocked when people booed. I was like, wait, like what are we gonna do? We're fans. Like we're the fans of this team.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it was just like what is me booing gonna do? I'm frustrated. Everyone's. I was looking around at all the people around me, like, oh God, that's not good. But none of the people around me were booing. I guess that's just a boiling over of the frustration. So like,
right.
I understand. I'm just not gonna be one that's booing. I guess that's just the way that my fandom expresses itself.
And there's 2 ways you can look at it too. It's like people have high expectations for this team.
Yeah.
30,000 people showed up to watch a practice.
Right.
They want to see it done properly. So
right.
We're the Shamelessly Positive podcast. So I won't be doing that. I'm not going to boo them, but it's, I think it comes from a lot of people. It comes from a place of just like high expectations. They want this team to be fucking great. And if the defense is playing lights out, the offense is playing lights out, but these guys aren't playing lights out, get your shit together.
Yeah,
right.
for sure. It's just, I just don't know what my boo is gonna is going to help
No.
make that better.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously, like, everyone should be critical of this kicking situation, which we
Yeah,
are.
We are.
I
we
mean,
are.
like, obviously, we understand that this needs to get fixed. And you've had an entire off season to do that, and we have seen zero improvement. And in fact, it almost seems like a step back. But I mean, when there's nothing on the line, it's a fan fest practice.
Yeah.
And you boo the kicker, that just doesn't feel like the right time to do it. I understand getting frustrated. I understand that, like, that probably what it was. It boils over to just like, God damn it, just make the kick, boo! Like,
I feel that all the time.
all the time. But I mean, it's already been said. We're the Shamelessly Positive podcast. We will be shamelessly positive. We won't boo a player that's repping the Bolts.
How about this? How about we just throw an R in there? Bro.
Yeah, instead of a boo.
Bro.
Oh,
Bro.
I like that.
What are you doing, bro? Party foul,
Bro, do your surfer voice. Bro, Sif.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I mean, everything that we've seen, at least from Darius Swinton, as far as his
I'm
being
excited
the special
about that
teams
guy. I
coordinator,
feel like he's going to make
absolutely.
some good decisions, though.
Yeah.
I really do.
He is the
Like
type of
fire all the
coordinator.
kickers?
I mean, that's
Maybe.
the thing. Like, he's the type of coordinator that doesn't seem to take shit. Like, he just, like, you have to meet the expectation, and if you don't, that's a problem, and we will address it as such. Because I believe, let me know if I'm wrong, type it down in the comments if I'm wrong, but prior to this fan fest, all the kickers have been doing really well. Like, the reports were him, like, Badgley's, 6 for 6, making his kicks. It was just at this fan fest situation, everything just seemed to kind of fall apart. So whatever it was, I got to imagine that the coordinator, Darius Swinton, is going to figure that out. They're going to go back, they're going to look at the tape, and they got to come up with a solution. Right now, that is just, it's not acceptable. Those results are not acceptable. And we still don't know who the kicker is going to be. It could be Vizcaino, it could be Kessman. There's still time in this preseason. I think the preseason games, are going to be really those are the big times to figure out who's going to be the kicker, right?
I don't think Kessman's going to, I think he's just a leg right now. He's not getting he's at practices there. He's not even getting into kick. So I think it's between Vizcaino, the Volcano, and Badgley. And if honestly,
maybe
like,
picking somebody else up too.
Who knows?
Yeah,
You never
I
know.
think if that really is what it is, and Kessman's not the guy, just let him go and find another guy that might be able to come in here and make more than 4 out of 6.
I mean, we saw that prior to this fan fest when the Chargers signed KJ Costello as another quarterback. Obviously another camp arm, or possibly like they might not feel that Easton Stick is the guy. And because, I mean, he hasn't been cut yet either. We're carrying 4 quarterbacks. Again, it could just be another arm. It could be that might be the next guy
I
up.
think it feels like an arm because the way they're doing practices, they're splitting the field. There's just a lot more reps to go around, and they probably don't want to put all that on our big boy, our special boy. So I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah, I'm not stressed about it. Let more preseason happen, and hopefully we see some improvement. I thought it was interesting. The guy that I have been most attracted to their energy this offseason is Chris Rumph. Him on those social media posts seems like the coolest, funnest, totally chill guy to be on this team. And from all accounts on this fan fest, had a great practice at the fan fest. Was there anything specific that you saw from him?
No, I didn't see anything specifically. I know he had a couple of sacks, which is awesome. But then again, they call a sack if you like touch the quarterback. So
right.
It's obviously great to see him on the field and being effective against tackles from the National Football League.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, it was very much a practice. It was not live. But again, another storyline going into Saturday's preseason game that's going to be really fun to watch because I think everyone's rooting for him. He's just a fun, likable, want to be on his side kind of guy.
Yeah.
And it's too bad we don't have Hard Knocks because I feel like he would have been a star of Hard Knocks.
He would have been, absolutely, without a doubt. All right. And then looking over at Twitter, one of the beat writers for the Chargers, Dan Popper, one that we've referenced here consistently on the Charger chat, it had a tweet come out saying that the Chargers have blown past the 20-year season ticket average of 45,611 in San Diego. That covers the 96 to 2016 era in San Diego. Chargers add that last 6 months of sales have been the most robust in the last 20 years.
Dude, it's crazy. And then, the NFL commissioner said the Chargers have sold more new season tickets than any other team in the NFL.
In the NFL?
The entire NFL, we have sold more season tickets than any other team in the NFL.
So more than the Rams?
More than the Rams.
They are part of the NFL,
That
so I would have to say
include
that, yes.
that. Said yes. So I'm pumped. I'm really hoping this isn't like a something in disguise where it's like these
a buy and sell thing.
Yeah, hopefully at least we retain a good chunk and we can be more than 50% of the fans in that stadium. That's what I'll be so happy if we can have that.
That would certainly be the hope. That would be that's pretty impressive. That the Chargers are selling more tickets than the Rams in that stadium.
Everywhere else too.
Stadium.
And that we're selling more tickets than they did when they were in the last 20 years of San Diego.
That's I think more important than the other teams.
That's true.
Like that says a lot because 96 to 2016, there's just some good years in there. That was LT's year was in there.
There were some bad ones.
There were some bad ones, but there were some also really great ones in there. So the fact that we've blown past those numbers, I think is
and we always
promising.
think of those San Diego days as being a lot of very loyal fans that had season tickets forever, and there were so many of those fans. So to see it, and like we said, hopefully this is true numbers of fans that are going to be at the games and not just an investment to try to sell all their tickets. But it is exciting. Hopefully we see a lot of powder blue in the stands.
That is absolutely the hope. And if you want to wear your own set of blues, folks, if you go to chargerchat.com, we've got merch.
Smooth.
We've got blues. In fact, my two co-hosts are wearing some of the blues right now. If you want to look as good as the Duggan Bros, go to chargerchat.com. Check out some of the merch. We've got some great shirts over there. Excellent. All right. Well, now, folks, it's time to look on over to Coach's Corner. That corner right there.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
All comes down to today.
You take this helmet and you put it right in his numbers, okay? I want to see nothing but snot bubbles in his nose.
A lot of people want to blame coaches for a lot of things.
Nobody puts coaches
trade up,
and we shut them down because we can.
It's because I believed in you.
And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational, but that just wouldn't be our style.
Let's do it.
All right, folks, that's right. It's time for Coach's Corner, and we reach into the bag of questions, and we pull out one from Mac Huber.
Certified
Congratulations. Yes.
We're going to go certified fresh.
We'll say certified fresh. If you've been on before, Mac, well, you smell fresh.
Fresh and so clean.
You smell so fresh and so clean. We couldn't help ourselves. So, Mac Huber, we're going to take a look at your question. It goes something like this.
And Coach Staley's mic'd up. It seems like Derwin James will be the primary play caller on defense. What are some of the advantages of having a safety calling plays, and how will this help the defense? They must have friends.
That was a Batman. That was a good.
Yes, Christian Bale, Batman.
Christian Bale. Love it.
All right. So, what... Anybody that saw the most recent mic'd up Derwin James, there was some talk between Staley and Derwin on having Derwin call plays, and so we're seeing it now even at this Fan Fest practice. I honestly didn't even know that this was a thing. I just figured that everybody figured out what the play was. I didn't think there was an actual guy that's like, okay, guys, here's what we're doing.
It's the green dot. It's the green dot.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm going to have to look out for the green dot. So, what are some of those advantages, Kyle?
Yeah, so I guess one of the main things is giving a guy the mic that hasn't played a full season in 3 years is a big vote of confidence from coach that he's going to be around. So I like the confidence. Let's double down with Derwin's health that he's going to be on the field the whole season. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what advantages it really is. I guess it is more skewed to coverage because obviously a linebacker knows a lot more about run fits and fronts than a safety generally tends to know. because they don't have a huge, I don't know, they have their run fit. Obviously everyone does, but a linebacker, in my opinion, and I'm not biased, but a linebacker is very much the in-between of doing both. You have to be in the box to stop the run, but you're also very important in pass coverage. And that's why generally most of the time that's who gets the dot. That's who's calling the plays and making sure everyone's on the same page, because he can talk defensive back lingo, but he also knows defensive fronts, blitzes, stunts, things like that. So I think it's just an overall leadership thing for Derwin. I think him getting the dot and being the guy on the mic, he has leadership, and he knows he must know this defense already pretty well to be able to communicate it in all of those phases, the coverages, the fronts, the blitzes, the stunts, the who's dropping where. And you got to imagine people need help, especially the young guys, and even the older guys. It's a brand new defense. So there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of hand holding there at the beginning, making sure the guys in the right spot. So it's clear that Coach Staley has said, Derwin, you're the guy.
Well, he's definitely shown a lot of those leadership type roles in this offseason as far as bouncing back from his injury. And a lot of the guys seem to look up from him. I mean, seeing him out there on the field, especially during this mic'd up fan fest, it was just, it was, you realize now how much of that might have been lacking from the previous season without us having Derwin, with him missing the entire season.
Right. Yeah.
Like that extra bit of energy on top of him being a leader, on top of him making those playmaking calls. I feel like that's going to be such a huge addition to this next season.
And
right.
I think it's interesting too, because the star player in this defense is so vital and so important. And last year, I think it was Josh Johnson was the similar position for the Rams, and he was calling the plays. So I think it's interesting to see his methodology on what this defense is going to be. And even Kyle, you mentioned like seeing us play two high safeties most of the time is very weird and different. So we're definitely getting a new defense and a new outlook on it. So I'm pumped that he's the guy, and I'm wonder how Tranquil feels, because I know they were, saying Tranquil was going to be the guy calling the plays. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Mac Huber, Coach's Corner, taking a look at your question, breaking it down. Excellent. Well, now let's back out of Coach's Corner and drive on over to Fan Focus. See who we got.
All right, guys, we are here with another Fan Focus, and we have Barrett from New York. What is going on, Barrett?
Ain't nothing much, man. How you doing, man, today, man?
I'm good.
Hello.
Thank you so much for taking the time to come chat with us.
Cool, man. Thank you, man, for having me. Hello to all the Charger fans out there. I know we all around the world. All the 12 fans that's out there.
I know, right? Yeah, take that. I saw that on Twitter. That was fun. We'll get into that. So let's kick it off, man. You're in New York. How did you become a Charger fan?
Wow. Well, my dad, he grew us up with hating all New York teams. So he's a big Chiefs fan, ironically.
Okay.
So how he accommodated to watch Chiefs games, he bought one of those big satellites that he could actually mount on the TV so he could watch these games. And I really didn't read too much anything at 8 years old. I'm 46 right now. So seeing a team with lightning bolts on their pants and the guys are throwing real far and catching the ball, I was amazed by that. I was like, wow. And then the playoff game with the Dolphins, and Kellen Winslow kept coming off the field and he was getting dragged back on the field, and it was just ironic. It was just an amazing game. And I was like, this is my team. Ever since then, so ironically, like I said, my father's the Chief fan, and me and him have these wars going on all the time, and it just gets bad.
I can't imagine what it's like, because I live out near them, and I can't imagine what it would be like having a family member where you're a Charger fan, they're a Chief. Man. That's crazy.
Oh man, you wake up, how about those Chiefs? Early in the morning. So it's like it's been wars, man, all the time. So he's living in North Carolina now. I'm in New York. So even when we play, he still makes sure he texts me to let me know every time, we play that, it's gonna go down. So
awesome. Well, this is fun. What did he think of the comment Mahomes made about Herbert? What did you think about it too?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it. That's a competitive nature, and that's how I grew up. So I have an older brother, so we grew up competitive. So I love that. I love that gentleman who actually sparked the whole the whole transition of
Little
this whole
bomb,
discussion.
drop the bomb.
That was right. That was great. That was great.
That's awesome. So it's an exciting year, man. I want to get your thoughts on like this upcoming season and like what do you think are going to be some of the biggest surprises?
First of all, I'm excited. You know, I like what the coaching staff has done. I mean, obviously, if you guys have actually followed me on Twitter, I have wanted some additional free agents, but you know, it didn't work out. But nonetheless, we still have a great team, and I'm excited of what we could put together with good coaching staff. And I was just hurt all these years of all the one-score games that we lost. You know, if we could actually play smarter towards the end of the game, you know, to prevent some of those catastrophic, you know, losses, you know, those weeks was tough, you know, losing those games that we should have won, especially against teams that they say that are the top echelon of the league.
And we're always that close.
We always are that close and do something at the end of the game that actually cost us, you know, and I just want us to, we was always good enough. I just want us to be mentally refined so we can actually get past those hurdles, you know, so we can finish off like how we supposed to.
So on that note, 100%, like I just want the culture to change where we get into the fourth quarter and we're up by a touchdown and we start to get worried. I want that. I want that out of here. I want that shit
I
out
thought it was
the
just
door.
me. Holy smokes. I go through that all the time. My wife is a Charger fan, so we be like, all right, it's the fourth quarter. You know, we look good from 1 to 3. And it's like, all right, it's the fourth quarter now. So, you know, we got to pull through. So, and it doesn't happen. So it'd be a tough week for me.
No, for sure.
Especially
Give me
in
those
New York.
comfortable. I want some comfortable fourth quarters. That's all I want in my life. For the love of
Exactly.
God.
I just want a warm, wholesome feeling, just to have a good week, you know?
Absolutely. So, you know, you've been a fan for a long time. I love talking to fans because there's a lot of new fans. There's a lot of like Herbert coming on board. Last couple of years coming on board. You've been a fan for a long time. So I want to hear out like, what is your most memorable Charger moment?
Us actually going to the Super Bowl. You know, when we finally was able to go to the Super Bowl, I was like, wow, I didn't think I would be able to see that. And the fact that we was able to go into the Super Bowl, but it was just unfortunate that we won against a juggernaut in San Francisco that year. You know, and we was good up into the first quarter, you know, and Natron Means got taken out the game as far as the scheme because we were so far behind, and it went downhill from there. But, you know, and I guess when we was going against the Patriots in that AFC Championship game, I thought we was able to actually had a team that could win it. And then LT went down, and it was just too much for Phillip, and it was just a snowball effect. You know, it's just too much that always happens to us, and at an unfortunate time. You know, so it's like the Jets. I could say the Jets. I could go on and on. The Jets, the Patriots home playoff game that we lost. I mean, it's just so it goes on and on and on. You know, I want us to be able to cross that hurdle. You know, of winning close games consistently. You know, just think about how many close games that we lost throughout all these years. If we would have just won them, and it would have been the narrative for the Chargers would have been totally different.
100%. And going off that, I think a lot of that has to do with coaching. A lot of that has to do with play calls, decision making, end of games. What are your thoughts on Staley? What do you think he's going to do for us?
He's detail oriented. He's very detail oriented, and that's pretty good, you know. And actually, that's not even pretty good. That's great, you know. And the way that he speaks, he speaks intelligently. And I always go by the saying, preparation, you know, kills all apprehension. So, you know, if you're prepared, you're not going to be apprehensive about nothing. And the way that these guys are actually talking, that they have layers on top of layers of, if they do this, we going to do this. If they do that, we do this, you know, and that's preparation, you know, and that will bring a calm to everyone on the team or within the organization that we actually prepared, you know. So that is essential, you know. Coaching is essential, especially when it comes to the X and O's and, you know, fine-tuning everything. And, you know, I just hope that these guys actually gravitate to it and be a sponge to all of it.
Yeah, 100%. And all right, man. Well, my last question for you, like, what are you doing this season? Are you going to try to make it any games? You locking it? What are you doing?
Yes, I want to go to the Washington game. I'm trying to go to the Texans game, fly out to the Texans game. Of course, I want to go to the Chiefs game, either at Arrowhead or either at
It's so far
out there. Yeah, so far, So I was glad to come out there. I want to meet you guys, go to a couple tailgates.
Let's do it.
The interactions is great. I want to go. I'm really looking forward to this season, really.
Awesome, man. Me too. And it's just an exciting time to be a Charger fan. And we can't tell you how much we appreciate your time. It was great meeting you. And
thank you, man. Same here.
Let's keep it going on Twitter. I got your back. We'll
sir.
We'll fight off all those trolls together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. They're impressive out there. I must say the least.
Yeah. All right, man. We'll take it easy.
All right. Take care, man. Okay, love you. Bye.
Yeah, love you. Bye. Yeah, Barrett is good guy, man.
Barrett, man, you put a smile on my face, man. That was just so dang cool. And tough, man, having your parents be Chiefs fans. Like that is just
And he's been a Charger fan for a long time. I love talking to some of the longer 10-year Charger fans. So he's
big time
holding it down in New York, which is not easy. There's a lot of football teams up there. So
yeah.
We appreciate you, brother. And definitely let's hit a tailgate or two.
Big time. That was awesome, Barrett. Thanks for stopping by. And now we need to look on over to our fourth Beatle of this family for 100th episode. I'm curious what he's got lined up for us. You know him, you love him. It's the Craig Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Craig Experience.
Hello there. Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Yeah, man. I sit here as a guy a bit in his doldrums because as I'm recording this, FanFest is going on. And, me being a Texas cat can't just walk out the door and drive 45 minutes to a stadium or anything and, engage in the festivities. And it's got me a little down. But you know what? Next year, your boy's going to be in the building. I'm not missing it. Enough is enough. So, yeah, plan on seeing me out there if you guys are going to be in attendance then. But let's get this thing rolling, shall we? CC gang. Salute, and to the rest of the Bolt fam, what's going on? It's your guy Craig in Texas, and welcome to another edition of the Craig Experience. And what can we gather from camp thus far? For me personally, it's kind of the uncertainty in certain positions, which I know maybe freaks some people out, but for me, I kind of enjoy it. It means that the coaches are being really thorough about which guys work best in which spots. And I wouldn't take a whole lot from who's working where. I don't think they've established all of these things. I mean, we know the big names are going to be where they're going to be. But as far as pairings and guys kind of rotating around in spots that maybe you didn't expect, it's just all about finding the best 11 guys on both sides of the ball. So specifically on the defensive side, it'll kind of all shake itself out through the preseason and starting week 1. So don't be too worried about it. As far as a couple of the battles for positioning, guys jockeying for spots that are of real interest to me are, of course, that running back battle as far as who RB2 is, because I'm not so sure that Justin Jackson is going to be around. If he is, I won't be shocked. But if we're talking about the odd man out, you can make the argument that Larry Roundtree and Joshua Kelly have similar skill sets. But there's something about availability and dependability and being able to be a contributor on in other phases of the game, such as special teams, that is going to count for a lot. And we know that when Jackson is on the field, I mean, he's a playmaker. And you'd love to have a guy like that on the roster. But if you have someone else who can kind of blend in a rotation, provide some of what he does, but also be a contributor on special teams, that's valuable. So there's that for me. And then there's a wide receiver 3 spot. And I think T. Billy's got that on lock. I know he had a little bit of a foot issue, I believe, so he's been out for a few practices, but I don't think that's going to be that big of a deal, which kind of leads me into the next person who I think should be feeling the heat, and that is Jalen Guyton. If you're telling me that I have someone on the roster who is comparable in speed, but is also a better route runner and has better hands, then you become expendable. So, Jalen, get on the good foot, my boy. Maybe update that resume, because I think of the receivers for that particular spot, you may be on the chopping block. And then Of course, there's that wide receiver 5 or 6 position, I guess, based on how many tight ends they plan on keeping. And man, where in the world is Joe Reed? Like, what's up with this whole Casper the Friendly Ghost thing? I've not seen one thing about Joe, whether it be on special teams or in the offense, in the passing game, or in the running game, or anything. Maybe they're just hiding him for a little while. I don't know. But if Joe Reed doesn't make this team, I'm going to really, really hate that. There's so much potential for that guy. And I would assume that Shane Day sees him very similarly to the way that he saw Deebo Samuel in San Francisco. It just makes sense to me. And of course, the guy was whatever records he set as far as kickoff returns back at UVA, you would think that that would make him number one up to bat for the kickoff return spot. But that could belong to Austin Prohl along with punt returning duties. So I don't know. Looking like the back half of that wide receiver roster, that depth chart's kind of spooky. I mean, we don't know whether it's going to be Joe Reed. I don't think KJ Hill's going to be around. I think it's going to come down to, I think it's going to be a Joe Reed, Austin Prohl situation, but I've been saying it for a few weeks now. I think Prohl's probably going to end up being the guy. I don't know where that leads Reed, but a little worried. And I mean, outside of that, another spot position that I really, really think next man up needs to be ready to go at any given moment is going to be that right tackle position, because I almost expect Brian Bulaga to get hurt. I'm not asking for it, not hoping for it. Fingers crossed that it doesn't happen. But man, it's becoming a regular occurrence. I know this week it was just a little bit of a hand situation. He was still practicing, but just in some of the clips that I've seen, Buddy looks kind of old and slow. And that doesn't get better with time and age. So who's that going to be? Trey Pipkins? Or Storm Norton, who was, decent in his opportunities last year. But whoever it is, they need to be ready to go week one. Like, literally, at any given point. Could be after the first snap. Could be just before halftime, fourth quarter, whatever. That person needs to be ready to get some significant snaps. Hopefully they don't have to, but, if we're just looking at recent history, it's a very good chance that they're going to see some real playing time. So, I mean, outside of that, the rookies are balling, man. Those first 3 picks. Now, I mean, I know that people were really curious about the Josh Palmer thing, but man, after I got a chance to look at some tape that was provided to me, after that draft pick, I bought in, and he's apparently been going hard at practice, and looks like he's already starting to prove some of the detractors wrong. And ASJ, just the dog we all know him to be, going out there and calling out Slay, and then putting in work against Slay, when we see what Slay is doing to like Michael Davis and literally Iverson crossing him up at practice and making him look like a complete fool. But I mean, Slay does that to everyone. But Asante's going out there, accepting the challenge, asking for the challenge, and delivering. You love to see that. And that's a dog at cornerback and just an overall football player. It's the type of guy I love to see on the field. And Rashawn Slater, man, putting in work against Joey Bosa and apparently winning some, which is no small feat when you got established players in the NFL who can't tie Joey's shoes. And, I think we're good at that left tackle spot for a long time. And I'm really glad that they finally decided to put some effort into that offensive line. It's a shame it had to come at the expense of Phillip Rivers, but the fact that he never really got to experience that, well, not late in his career, should I say, is a shame. Anyways, guys, chat with me a little bit. See what I did there? Chat with me. Yeah, right. I know. Lame. Give me a pass. About what you think this team's story is going to be at the end of the season. When it's all said and done, what do you think they're going to be known for? Do you think it'll be for offensive prowess, or do you think they're going to be real players on the defensive side of the ball and what the league takes notice to them the most about? My call is going to be the defense, just from how multiple they are and for everything that I'm seeing right now and the way that they're mixing things around. And I mean, of course, Herbert's only in his second season, but he's benefiting from seeing all that multiplicity and all those amoeba style defenses and things of that nature. So I'm sure it'll make him a better QB going into year 2 as well. But man, I think the league is going to have issues with this defense. So that's my call. But okay, enough of me. We all know what it is. Bow gang or do not bang. Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye. I wish I looked as good in this shirt as he does in his, dude.
He wears it quite well.
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying. He's so much cooler than we are.
He is.
It's just a fact. Yeah, I'm on board with this, dude. The one thing I took away from this that I want to just kind of my thoughts on this injury stuff that we've been going through. You know, what this new coaching staff seems to be doing is really taking a very cautious approach. So like when you see guys out, usually for us, that means, oh shit, they're done for a while because, you know, Anthony Lynn reports were that he would do 6 days of straight practice, old school kind of just, you know, run guys into the ground, that kind of thing. And you play through that stuff. It seems to me like Brandon Staley is kind of keeping an eye on the veteran guys and stuff that could possibly be, you know, not that big of a deal. He's treating it like a big deal to kind of get these guys ready for the season. So I'm not as worried about Bulaga. I think that there's a certain, you know, seniority approach that he's taking with some of these guys and making sure they're going to be okay. So that's kind of my thought on that. And then I'm going to go with, I think the way the defense is playing is just going to be really exciting. I'm all in on Herbert, 100% in on that offense, but I'm excited to see these guys just make Mahomes look like a fool and not play well. And I'm just looking forward to that. So I think the defense is going to be the narrative. And then, you know, the offense will be very, very closely behind it on a, you know, sub narrative.
Well, that's shocking to hear that from you.
I know. I'm sensing it, seeing all these videos.
Shocking.
Yeah.
You're just seeing all these videos, all these practice videos and what's going down. It's just, it feels different.
I guess I have, because I was at that practice and the offense moved the ball pretty easy. Like they were pretty consistent with how they moved the ball. I do think that the offense is going to put up a lot of points. I think we have the guys to be able to score a lot. And our defense just has to be good enough. I do think our defense is going to be good, but I think that when you have a guy like Justin Herbert, that's what your team's going to be known for. You're going to kind of live and die with that. I don't know. This was just from, I think, because I was at FanFest. Also, maybe because I want to disagree with you. Yeah. I don't know.
I think that's what it feels more like. I just want to take
it just crossed, and you're just now venturing off into a different
polar stance. You want to take a polar opposite stance.
I also think that, like Staley, some of the stuff he said about the injuries, he did say like, yeah, not a big deal. They're okay. And he even said like, if this was a game, they would be playing.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe, and I can't say that that's not how the old coaches did it too, but it is interesting to almost get across that mindset of, look, we're not going to be soft. Like they're going to play through this crap when they have to play through it. It's just not necessary right now. So it was FanFest. The guys like they twisted their ankle or something flared up. We're not going to push it now, but we will when it matters. They're going to push through these little things.
Yeah. I mean, Craig, you broke down so many different aspects of what we have to look forward to. And even Brandon Staley said like he's never had this many wide receivers to like play with and utilize and take advantage of. And it definitely does not. I mean, it feels like not all those wide receivers are going to be there. So we're pretty damn well stacked at that area. I think that I'm hoping, obviously, for both sides of the ball to just blow it out of the water. We expect great things from both sides. I think right now the biggest narrative against the Chargers is the offense. I think the big question is, how is Herbert going to play in year 2? Because everybody that I think isn't a Charger fan is expecting a sophomore slump. And everybody else that is a Charger fan knows that that's just not going to happen. He's just been playing too well. I mean, and you're even seeing it in these practice scrimmages that I think he's just going to dominate. So I think that's going to be the narrative. I think the defense is almost expected to play as good as they're going to play because of the amount of pieces that we have and the coaching staff that we have. I think the offensive side is going to be the question mark. Can he do it again? And so I think that's going to be really, when it comes down to the end of the season, offense and more specifically Justin Herbert playing as well as we all expect him to.
For our fan base, I think the best thing that could happen is for Justin Herbert to have an amazing season again.
Yeah.
Because you look at, we just talked about it. We have the highest selling season tickets of any team right now.
Yeah.
That's not happening because of this new defense we've never seen.
Nope.
This is happening because of one guy, really. This is happening. We just came off a subpar season, and the excitement is still high, and that is because we have the offensive rookie of the year. So, in terms of our fan base getting bigger, getting stronger, actually having a home field advantage, the better he does at the beginning of the season, the more Charger fans are going to show up. They're going to show out. It's going to make us a stronger fan base. So, there's different ways to look at it, but I think only good things will happen if Herbert has a great season. Only good things will happen.
I think that's 100% accurate. So there you go, Craig. Those are our thoughts on what the narrative will be at the end of the season. Now, folks, it's time to go into Ask Boltfam. We promised you last episode that we would get to them.
I need the voices, dude. I haven't had them in like 2 weeks, and I haven't laughed in 2 weeks. Is that possible?
Well, I can't guarantee. There's some.
You better fucking guarantee.
There
me
were some
laughing.
voice requests in here that I know that I can't do, but you know me. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna shoot for the fences.
Go for the gold.
Swing as hard as I can. Let's start this Ask Bolt Fam off with one of our old favorites, Karen.
Happy belated birthday, Karen.
We're gonna wish her happy birthday every episode now going forward. Yeah. All right. Karen starts us off and Ask Bolt Fam, asking the question going something like this.
Well, shoot. So if the Fajocos together can take down at least 250 Raiders fans, 50 for each Fajoco, my question is this. Kevin, Kyle, and Adam, how many Raider fans could you guys take down in one sitting? Love you.
I think it's important to state whether or not we're doing this with the Fajocos, because if we're doing this with the Fajocos, I'll clean up some stragglers.
We'll take
the guys are already kind of hurt on the ground.
Exactly. Just kind of one finishing move to take them out. So we could pad our numbers with that. I think if it's just the three of us, it kind of depends. I've run into some short, not very intimidating. Kyle and I are both we're all over 6 feet, decent size.
We're all kind of lovers more than fighters.
I think it's maybe 2-to-1 ratio, depending on how well we work together as a team.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Depending on how many other Charger fans we can get to
what kind
back
of weapons and.
I think a lot of
high ground. There's a lot of factors.
There's a lot of factors. I think there's like in high school, you'd go up on somebody at the quad and you'd like bend down behind them and then you push them over. I think it's a whole bunch of woolly crawling around on all fours and us just like pushing people over.
2-to-1. Yeah, we could take out
into Rivers Lake. Just
that's fucking teamwork.
What's your favorite position?
And to add to that, there was a follow-up question. This comes from Ghost. I'll just use the same voice.
Real question is, how many do you guys think Karen and Jen can take out? Oh, better yet, what would be the numbers if they tag team with the Fajocos and WWF old school Royal Rumble style celebrity death match?
So
I think they will take down more than we will.
I think so, because I think they'd be able to organize a lot of people to join.
Yeah. Everyone would rally around them. And the whole stadium would be fighting these people.
Would never be alone. They would always have a posse with them.
It would literally be Thunderdome. Like we'd be in the Thunderdome and it would be Thunderdome.
The Chargers might come off the field and help.
Yeah, they would call over. Sean Lights Out Merriman would show out, knock out 3 people.
Sean Lights Out Merriman. Bam, he just appears.
Yeah, Austin Eckler would just like stop the mid game, pop out into the stands, come fight in their honor. Yeah, there'd be a lot of that.
There would be.
Great question, though. But the Fajocos set the tone.
They do.
We do the cleanup. I think that's the move.
That would be our position in the fight against the Raiders. But thank you, Karen, for asking the question, and thank you, Ghost, for tagging up on it. We move on now to another old favorite, Okie Doggy, who asked the question.
Line up, ladies. Now, usually we would be going over the 5 Ds of dodgeball, but I want to present you ladies with some scenarios about which alternate reality would you want to be in if the reality we live in didn't exist. This may be long, so you better pay attention, otherwise I'll throw a wrench at you. You may ask if that is necessary. Is it necessary for me to keep yelling, "Fuck the donkeys"? No, but I do it anyways because fuck the donkeys. Scenario number 1. Drew Brees stays with the Chargers and they win around 3 to 4 Super Bowls in his tenure. This also includes Marty moving on to be the general manager when he felt like he wanted to move. The downside of this would be that Phillip Rivers gets traded for a first-round pick to the Lions, and we don't have some of the players we have now, which includes Air Bear. The future QB in this scenario is either Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence. Scenario 2. Phil wins 2 to 3 Super Bowls with Norv Turner as the head coach, but A.J. Smith is still the general manager of the team, and we don't get any players that we have currently except for Justin Herbert. Also, Staley would still be a coach, but with players that we wouldn't expect. Scenario 3. Tom Telesco doesn't jump the gun on hiring Mike McCoy and instead hires either Andy Reid or Bruce Arians. Phil wins 2 Super Bowls, and we have a vast majority of the players except Air Bear. The future QB in this scenario is between Drew Lock, Tua, Daniel Jones, or Spencer Rattler, with about a 10% chance of the QB maybe being Mahomes or Allen instead. And finally, scenario 4. With Anthony Lynn, Phil wins at least a Super Bowl before retiring with the team after the 2018-2019 season, but there's a high chance we don't get some of the players from either the 2017 draft, which was Derwin's draft, or the 2018 draft. Future QB would either be Joe Burrow, Tua, Air Bear, or Jordan Love, depending on how Tyrod does as the 2019 starter. Also, Lynn is still the coach even after this past season.
Holy shit.
Okie Doggy. How dare you ask such a long question with such a gravelly voice, you son of a bitch. I love you. All right. 4 scenarios, guys. You've got them all written down in front of you. Which scenario are you taking?
The one with Spencer Rattler can go fuck itself. That guy
Kevin
sucks.
is not a Spencer
That guy
Rattler fan.
sucks.
He is not a fan.
I want the one where Phil. Which one is the one where Phil wins and we still get Herbert? That's the one
2.
I want.
Yeah,
I want
scenario 2. I'm still picking that one.
Utah.
Too.
Yeah.
Give me 2.
Still get Staley as the head coach.
I'll take Norv Turner. He kind of sucked, but whatever.
That means it's still Super Bowl wins with Phil.
For Phil. And you get Herbert.
You
get Herbert. Yeah, that's a
Staley.
win-win setup. And I don't want Andy Reid. No.
Oh, no. Scenario 2 says we don't get any players that we currently. Oh, no. Okay.
We still get Justin Herbert.
Okay, we do get Justin Herbert.
And we had 3
Scenario 2.
Super Bowls with Phil. That's easy.
3 Super Bowls with Phil. Done.
Deal.
Done
Sign
deal.
me up.
Yeah. And still Staley and still Herbert.
Yeah.
I eat pieces of shit like that for breakfast.
Yeah. AJ Smith is still the general manager, but whatever. All right. Okie doggy. There you go. There's your answer. Thank you for asking the question for this 100th episode. You certainly made it 100th episode worthy question. We move on now to Shabba Ray.
Certified fresh.
Asking the question, something like this. Hey, coach. This last story of the last season of training camp, they come out of the flood. Trouble there. Players are coming in the best camp to get in. Make everything how we can do. And what is some of the story you really think about it? Or should we really be paying attention to?
You like Dags?
You like Dags?
All right. So since
translate that, you pikey.
Since Shabba Ray asked for a Brad Pitt from Snatch, which is completely unintelligible, as you heard, the question is, Coach, there's a lot of stories in the offseason and training camp that come out and are fluff. Trope alerts. Player X has come into camp in best condition ever, which makes every fan think, how can we lose? What are some stories that you think really matter? What should we be really paying attention to?
Like
All
that.
right, so talking to you, Coach, what do you think?
Yeah, good question. I don't know. I want to believe all of them. I hope they're all
Right?
true. Yeah, I'm a fan. I think that the Drew Tranquil coming back and feeling healthy, along with Kenneth Murray after the shoulder surgery, getting to play downhill. I think the linebacker position is a big deal. It's gotten a good amount of coverage, but I do think that having those two guys on the inside is going to be a big deal for our defense. What do you guys think?
I think the hype is alive and well with our Rashawn Slater, our new left tackle. He's like Craig said, he went one-on-one with Jay Big Bear and like held his own and beat him in a couple of these one-on-ones. And I'm just like, the idea of having like an offensive tackle like that moving forward for the foreseeable future is so exciting.
Yeah.
Because that is something we haven't had in so long. So that's the one that I think the hype is alive and well with, and I'm pumped for.
Yeah. I mean, I think you got to look at the health factor and knowing what we've been missing, especially with Derwin James and what we're seeing him coming back with. I think that's what you need to take a look at, because that guy has just been such a hard worker, and you're not just hearing it from one person, you're hearing it from everybody. That's not a fluff piece. That is people telling you this is the real deal.
100%.
So yeah, I think those are the stories to take a look at. But thank you, Shabaray, for asking the question. We move on now to Bobby Caldrone.
Bobby.
Good old Bobby asking the question.
Bobby.
You may have answered this before, but with Justin's recent golf outing, if you could choose 3 people, I want limited to Chargers players, to play our rounds of golf with, who would it be?
Good question. There's a lot of things that go into this. I play. There is. I play a fair amount of golf, and I like playing golf with people that are competitive. I think my favorite outing would be Justin, Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees. Just give me the 3 most recent quarterbacks. They all probably play a lot of golf. Phil trash talk I would just die laughing the whole time.
Sure.
And getting to hear their stories, I think would be really, really fun.
I would take, just because same kind of shit talk, I want Phillip Rivers and Jay Cutler. I just want to go out and let them just go at each other, and I'll just sit there, have a beer. I'll drive the cart, and I'll just let them do their thing. That'd be fun.
Third?
Yeah, me. I'm playing. You can come.
No. You get 3 other people.
It's a full foursome. Yeah, so you get one more.
Abraham Lincoln.
Bring me along.
Abraham Lincoln.
You don't want me? Come on.
You're fine, but if I could take anyone, old Abe.
Abe? Honest Abe.
Right. Abraham Lincoln.
That's a bizarre answer.
That really was. I wasn't ready for that.
I forgot. I had my 2 picked, and I panicked. I don't know why I thought it said Abraham Lincoln.
Panic answer of Abraham Lincoln. Classic.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions for him. I want to know how it all went down.
Let's see. For me, 3. Justin Herbert would definitely be 1. Keenan Allen seems to play pretty well too. I'd bring him, and I personally have never played golf ever, so I know that I would just totally wreck it. So I'd have to try to bring like somebody else maybe that would maybe
suck harder than
it.
you,
or at the very least be entertaining. So I'll say like Adam Sandler, like just to add to the laughs,
make jokes and make it funny.
Yeah, because I think that would be a hoot.
It's also fun to watch bodybuilders try and swing golf clubs. So you could bring like a bodybuilder of some kind, like
sure.
Arnold
I'll bring
heyday.
like one of the thicker guys on the team, like Linval Joseph. Or
there you go.
Good
Good
cool.
answer. Yeah. Good answer.
Or Abraham Lincoln.
Or Abraham Lincoln. Because why not? All right.
Why not?
There you go, Bobby. Thanks for asking the question. We move on now to Tyler Foffey. Good old Tyler.
Foster.
Asking the question.
How bad do you guys want to destroy the Vikings? After the weekend I had with a big Vikings fan, I want to completely destroy them. And then fuck the Chiefs.
He downshifted hard.
I mean, like, it was all like, oh, I want to beat the Vikings, but fuck the Chiefs.
Good one, Foster.
Yeah, dude, I want to squash them.
There's
Obviously.
just talk. I know the season is close because the shit talking is in full effect.
It's
and
just like, why though?
The
like,
Vikings,
why are they coming at us?
The Vikings are coming at us because they thought their boy should have won Offensive Rookie of the Year
But
when he should
didn't.
not have.
No.
And we're not backing down. And they're coming out of the woodworks.
It's not our fault.
No, I know.
No, but they just automatically have hate towards the Chargers because Justin Herbert plucked the offensive rookie of the year away from Justin Jefferson. No, it wasn't. It was he was a smoking. All
but
right,
I love seeing these random rivalries start up out of nowhere. Like the Vikings. Who gives a shit about the Vikings?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely want to beat the Vikings.
And fuck the Chiefs.
And fuck the Chiefs. Respectively. All right. Thank you, Tyler, for asking the question. We move on now to Zach Marincic, who asked the question.
Seems like our wide receiver core is one of our deepest position groups. How are you guys feeling about the position group as a whole, as well as first week camp standout T. Billy?
I'm
Boy,
pumped.
There's a lot.
There's so many guys. Like the one that kind of stands out to me right now that just clearly had some issues with dropping the ball is Jalen Guyton. He's the one that kind of stands out for that, and they've been giving him the opportunity. So I'm pumped for this. There's so many weapons, and as soon as you added Josh Palmer and Reed and KJ Hill and Williams and Allen, and it goes on, and then Jared Cook is running some Stevie Wonder style.
Yeah,
like but then Jared Cook is looking great. You know, it's a different kind. He's like just a massive wide receiver. Hold on.
Oh, now we're going up. All right.
Oh my god, this is turning a visual presentation.
Yeah, I think the Craig experience said it all. Like,
he broke it down pretty good. Yeah,
very deep position. There's a lot of really, really talented guys, and somebody's not going to make the squad. It'll be fun to watch them go out and compete in the preseason to try to make plays.
Exactly. I think that's a huge thing to look for. You were talking about DBs and how the secondary is going to play with some of those backup guys. This wide receiver group, they're going to be battling.
They're going to be fighting. Yeah,
they're going to be battling, and it's going to be super fun to watch. And yeah, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of unknowns as far. I mean, the ones that we know: Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. Those guys are safe. T. Billy, I'm 100% positive.
Palmer's 100% safe.
So,
but after that,
after those four, you got Joe Reed, KJ Hill, Guyton, and I feel like there's another one. I don't know if you want to count Prohl as being one of those as well. I mean, he's been touted as being one of the main returners.
Yeah,
but yeah, boy, it's gonna be fun to watch. That's for sure. If I had to guess which one's gonna get cut, I'm gonna say KJ. I'll say that he gets cut. I think Guyton at least has more chemistry with Herbert.
Don't like the dropsies though.
I don't like the dropsies either, but hey, he's had a whole off season to get better. Let's see if he did.
He did.
We'll see it on the preseason games. What did you say? He didn't?
He did it. He dropped a big one at FanFest. I'm not thrilled with Guyton right now.
Oh my god. Come on, let's be shamelessly positive here.
I know. What am I doing? Sorry.
Right. Thank you, Zach Marincic. Bro. Let's move it on now to It's Nate Purr.
Certified Fresh.
Certified Fresh. And asking the question.
Is anyone else raising questions about Brandon Faison playing CB2 at camp? Or am I overreacting too soon?
I haven't heard Pee Wee in a while.
I had to bring him out for the 100th episode.
Love it.
Yeah. Well,
Coach, what do you think?
I don't think Faison's going to be the number 2 guy. I think it's going to be in our base without going into nickel. It's Chris Harris and Mike Davis are your 2 corners. That's 1 and 2. It's just when you go nickel, who's that other guy they bring in? Usually they slide Chris Harris down. So is it going to be Faison? Is it going to be Asante Samuel? And Faison was hurt at FanFest, so it was Asante Samuel a lot. But I like I said, don't overreact. Don't jump, like get too scared about Faison playing a lot of football, because I think he will get some snaps. And I think he has the potential to be good. We just need some opportunity and show that he's consistent at doing it. So I don't think he's cornerback 2. He's cornerback 3 or 4. And I'm not overly worried about it for the time being.
Right. Yeah. That's, I mean, some accounts from camp is that he's actually playing pretty well. But I mean, it's camp, it's practice. We need to see him in those real time situations. And I'm sure we'll see some of those opportunities in one of these preseason games, as long as he's healthy to play.
When you look at it, like, we're all really excited about Asante Samuel Jr. So
Big time,
you're, you know, he's already, Faison's got the chip stacked against him to a certain extent, because we want our second round pick to be the dude,
to be a second round pick and actually go out there and play well. So for sure. We'll see it as time goes on, but we'll trust the coaches on the right decisions they make. But thank you for asking the question. It's Nate Purr. We move on now to Blue Blitz.
Certified fresh.
Asking the question. Is Tillery dominating?
Short.
I don't know.
Sweet.
Did you see anything at FanFest there, Kyle? Jerry Tillery,
Nope.
is he dominating?
Any domination. Didn't stick
Nothing
out.
dominating worthy.
No. So we'll see. I mean, it'll be another guy, first round pick, you would hope is going to be a really, really big time player. Well, hopefully that happens. But I mean, not that I've seen so far. I haven't been to any of the training camp. I was only at FanFest and he didn't stick out.
All right. Well,
and that's what you want from a first round pick. You want him to be the Jay Big Bear. You want him to be the Rashawn Slater, and he just isn't that first round pick. At least, you know, we gotta see some live reps and some real football. But you know,
we saw a flash of it last year. That like when he got I think a sack, it was just like, okay, maybe there's something going to happen, and then nothing really happened the rest of the season. So, I think this is his season to try to make something happen, because if he doesn't, I don't think he'll be sticking around for much longer. But thank you for asking the question, Blue Blitz. We move on now to Ghost. Good old Ghost, who asked the question. I'll ask again, because I missed the one 2 weeks ago that was early. Was hoping it was up on last week's episode. It was regarding the hiring of Mike McCoy over Bruce Arians. When Tom Telesco became the GM, the fan base didn't want him to hire Bruce Arians and make a West Coast Colts team. Do you think that if Tommy T had brought him in instead of Mike McCoy, that Bruce would have at the very least got the Chargers to the Super Bowl, possibly won one there, keeping them in San Diego? Can't remember if you have done a Jack Nicholson. I want to say yes.
That's the first time I've heard Jack.
That's my first Jack. So
here's Johnny.
Here's Johnny. Give me the bat. Wendy, darling, light of my life.
Good one, dude.
All right. So another alternate timeline of Bruce Arians coming to the Chargers instead of Mike McCoy.
Man, I think Bruce Arians is getting a lot of credit based on what happened. Like, it's just so much. He just came out today talking about how he's not happy with his team. He's the kind of coach that he just throws shade in the media, which is different. I like what we have right now with Staley, because he's more straightforward and he's not throwing people under the bus. Like I'm just not that thrilled with Bruce Arians. Like, he just won a Super Bowl, but I don't think it was really all that much to do with Bruce Arians. So I'm fine. I don't know. Would it be better than Mike McCoy? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
100%. I'll take that all day long. But
yeah.
I don't know if it keeps them in San Diego. I think that was 10 years in the making, and that was going to happen either way.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say that he would have made that big of a difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in his time in Arizona, where he went as the head coach, they had a couple good seasons, but they never won a Super Bowl there.
Right.
Our injuries would have been our injuries. I don't think he was he was that much better to take us to and win a Super Bowl, because we weren't really close in that time frame.
Yeah.
So for us to say that he would have been the difference to us win a Super Bowl, I don't think it would have.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Thank you, Ghost, for asking the question. Good to see you again. We move on to Philip, aka Philipping Out. Love it.
Certified fresh.
Certified fresh. Love the wordplay. Asking the question goes something like this. Can you say it as Stewie? What's the history like in the NFL of rookie head coaches and success in year one?
Love to see what's happening with Staley, but he is a new head coach. We don't expect greatness for rookie players. Is it different with head coaches? Thanks.
Holy shit, that was good. What are you talking about? That
That's
was
like-
a good Stewie.
That was like maybe season 1 Stewie. That wasn't the Stewie.
You made this. You made the cut. You made the season, bro.
Okay. NFL rookie head coaches and success in year 1.
So yeah, in preparation for this, I went and checked out a couple things on the old interweb. So here are some rookie head coaches and their first season records. So Sean Payton was 10-6. Bill Cowher with the Steelers was 11-5. Bobby Ross with the San Diego Chargers was 11-5. So I think that's just to name a few. I think Bobby Ross kind of set the bar kind of high. That's a good little competition to have there. And then I think there were a couple Super Bowl winners there, weren't there, Coach?
Yeah, like way back in the day. I think somebody for the George Seifert with San Francisco, Dan McCafferty with the Baltimore Colts. It's very rare that that's going to happen.
And it's been a long time.
We saw Sean McVay have a very successful NFL start as a head coach. So it's doable and we've seen it happen. It's not always likely. Most of the time, teams that are taking a chance on a first-year head coach are not as established as the Chargers are, I feel like. So
the roster
I think he's walked into a good place to have an opportunity to be that first-year coach that has a good season. But yeah, it's not the norm.
It's kind of crazy. We talked about this, was like how Anthony Lynn had this kind of roster and still got fired. Usually the handover isn't when you have a team with this much talent, like you were saying. So I think that's kind of an interesting way to look at it, that maybe he does have a leg up on some of these other coaches because he has the talent that maybe, a bad team with bad results gets a head coach fired. Maybe it's not quite the case in this situation.
There you go. All right. There's your answer, Philip. Thanks for asking the question. We move on now to Vic Bolt J.
Certified fresh?
Certified fresh.
There's a lot of certified fresh this episode. Thanks for showing out, guys.
Yeah, thanks for showing up for the 100th episode. You've got a question. It goes something like this.
Seth Rogen voice, please, and make sure to add that signature laugh of his with the type of plays that T-Billy is having during camp so far. Showing off a bit, do you guys think he will have a bigger role than Mike Dubb? One last thing, Seth, bring it home. Fuck the Raiders.
Never done Seth Rogen before in my life, so
good request. Challenge him. Challenge the Wolf Dog.
Challenge him.
I don't think he's challenge. I don't think T-Billy's challenging Mike Williams in terms of like. He's probably T-Billy's going to have some big plays, some deep balls, and have a really great yards per catch. But I think you're still going at Mike Williams. He's your 80-20 ball guy.
Right. He's the jump
they're just
ball
different
guy.
roles. They do different things for the offense. So to compare them is hard. They're both going to catch. They're going to be thrown to a lot, but they have really different roles. They're going to require different coverage. They're going to show up in different spots. So it's exciting to see T-Billy having such a good start to camp, because it does. I think it relieves a little bit of pressure or stress that we all had of who's going to be that third guy. That's a hard decision as a coach to really stand firm on who's the guy. When right now T-Billy's proven to be the guy right now.
Right. He had a great chemistry with Herbert last season, and he's made some eye-popping catches during this offseason at camp, including like a deep ball that was over 50 yards. So I think he's solidified his spot, but you just can't compare him to Mike Dubb. I don't think
you'll see good.
I don't
stuff
think he'll necessarily have a bigger role. Yeah, no, I think we'll see some big plays for sure, without a doubt. But thank you for asking the question, Vic Bolt J. We move on now to Random Chargers Thoughts.
Certified fresh.
Certified.
This is the certified fresh episode, guys.
It is a very certified fresh episode, going something like this.
I know it's early, but how are the RBs looking behind Eckler?
I see a lot of people talking about how they don't like our running back group, but I'm not mad at this running back group.
Why?
I've seen it. Like people are really concerned about it on Twitter. I'm not at all. I think Larry Roundtree was a great addition to what we have. Justin Jackson can stay healthy. Like people are saying, they're liking what they're seeing at camp with him. Eckler's obviously RB1 and could be one of the best running backs in the league this year, just with this new offense. So I'm not concerned at all. It's going to be fun to see these upcoming preseason games to see who stands out the most. I think they're all kind of neck and neck, but who stands out the most? Who hits the hole the hardest? Who takes guys with them to get those extra yards? Because that's what Eckler did. Remember, he was just always fighting, always battling for extra yards that year that he made the team. So I think it's going to be effort, and we'll see that real soon.
Yeah, I can't imagine being too concerned about the running back group. I think if anything, I mean, honestly, if anything, somebody's going to get cut. So I think,
and even our deep guy, Bradwell, he's been looking good at practice too. Right? I didn't even mention him. Like there's just a lot going on.
And you got Joshua Kelly as well. So I think it's another kind of heavy group that I think there's a lot of talent there. And honestly, it's like Kevin said, it's going to be the preseason where we're going to see some of these guys who wants it the most, who's going to fight for it the hardest. Yeah, big time. So I think we're looking pretty good. Random Chargers thoughts. Thanks for asking the question. We move on next to Senior Snappy, who asked the question. Yeah, snaps for Snappy.
If no Charger emerges who can reliably field a punt, what then? Can we not simply down every punt instead of advancing it? Why is this not a viable strategy?
Winston Churchill, you know better than this. You know better than this. Those are those big play opportunities. You need punt returns. Like you don't even get kickoff returns anymore. Like they're most time touchback or it's fair catch. Like this is your opportunity to like change the game. So I hope we have somebody that can.
Well, it's just crazy. We do, and there's guys on the team. Joe Reed is a good returner. He did it a lot in college. Austin Prohl can do it. There's guys that could do it. It's just a matter of who steps up to be that guy. And think about punt return. Even if you get a 10-yard return, doesn't sound fancy, isn't probably going to make Sports Center, but that's a whole first down. Like that's a if you're
than
watching
we've ever had lately.
Yeah. Right. And it's a big deal. Even just at 10 yards, that's a big change in field position. It's a one less first down you have to get. It's big. So, and when you can bust those touchdowns, those are just game changers, momentum shifters. They're huge. So you have to have a guy that could do that. On our roster of the athletes that we have, somebody has to step up, or they got to shuffle things up because it's an absolute need that you have to have.
There you go. Senior Snappy. You got to have it. Thanks for asking the question. We move on now to Brian LaRoe, who asked the question.
Mike Williams is in a contract year. I will always root for player success, but it's a bit disappointing to hear he's dropping balls and not finishing drills. What would it take to see him benched? Practice season with his big contract? $1 million.
You don't want to bench him. You're paying him so much GD money.
Yeah, it would take a lot to get there.
It's a lot of money sitting on the bench.
Yeah, it would have to be coach calls him out for not finishing drills. He yells back at him, is defiant, just becomes a poison.
Runs up and just straight punches him in the dick. Something
goes
real
Antonio
serious.
Brown on everyone. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. He's not gonna get benched. He's not gonna be practice squad. The guy's gonna be he's gonna be starting on the field. It's just I don't know what that is. I don't know why he wouldn't be. I've never heard of anything like that in the past from him. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's so interesting, this roller coaster ride that is fans look at Mike Williams. Like, yeah. I felt I was happy that we franchise tagged him. I was glad that we brought him back in. So it's interesting to see like this crazy roller coaster. Kind of just there's a lot of hate for Mike Williams right now, and I kind of hope he kind of proves everyone wrong.
I don't know that there's necessarily hate, but there's definitely, it feels like we spent way too much money.
Yeah.
But let's see what happens this year. I mean, this could be the best, $15 million we ever spent if he just goes off this year.
So much money.
I know it's a lot of money, but I mean, if it's enough to take us to a Super Bowl, I think a lot of us will be changing our tune real quick, but we got to wait and see what it all turns out to be. But thank you, Brian LaRoe, for asking the question. We move on now to Efren Abarca, who asked the question.
You seen all the praise these fools from PFF been showing Herbert and the Bolt gang lately, Holmes? I think them fools are up to something. Think they're trying to push some bad juju on us all. What say you? Blood in, blood out. Fuck them fools. Fuck the Raiders. Vatos, Carlos, forever. Bye. Okay, love you. Bye. There's a lot of hashtags at the end of
Love
that
it. PFF is just a confusing.
They're just
if you want to talk about a roller
they're just
coaster,
grasping.
Dude,
they're the ones that they can't make
story,
up their mind.
story.
They're
Just kidding. Never mind.
Yeah, they're just putting up stories so they can reference them later. Like, I hate Justin Herbert. Could be pretty good. He sucks. I think he's going to be great. Like, what are you saying? What is going on? What are you talking about? I don't know. I don't follow PFF anymore because they really threw a lot of shade at us. So I'm kind of over that shit.
Well, they can't make up their mind. They're very wishy-washy on their opinions, which, I mean, that's what, if I'm going to read something from them, that's what it's going to be about. So,
yeah.
The less read from them, the better. But thank you, Efren, for asking the question. We move on now to JR, who asked the question.
Howdy, you some bitches. Everyone seems to have that one daggone thing that means more to them than anything else. So, what in tarnation is y'all's most prized childhood possession? Oh, and if brains were leather, Raider fans wouldn't have enough to saddle a June bug.
Beautiful.
I love
Thank
it.
you, JR. Most prized Chargers possession.
I have Kyle actually got me this. It's a Charger Pog table. Remember Pogs back in the day?
Hell yeah,
it's not like I have a lot of signatures and stuff, but like I've never seen this before. And it's like a Pog table with a Charger emblem and a slammer with a Charger lightning bolt on it.
Ooh, nice.
And if you're mid 30s like we are, you know what we're talking about. Pogs, that was some
that was currency.
That was currency in elementary school. So that's one of my prize ones. And then Phillip Rivers signed jersey with a bolo tie hanging around it. And my office is kind of also my favorite.
Nice.
What you guys got?
I don't know. I really like I have a Phillip Rivers signed jersey as well that me and you got at Qualcomm at one of the last games. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Was that like he signed it? With you
went
there?
down onto the
we
field,
threw him the
hung our
jersey and he
jerseys
signed it.
Oh, that rocks.
Pretty cool.
That's so much better than like buying a signed jersey, like getting him to actually sign. That rocks. That's really fucking cool.
I'd probably say that's my prized Charger possession.
Sweet. Well, I've got two prize Charger possessions, and both of them come from you guys. One is the first signed anything that I've ever gotten, which is an Austin Eckler mini helmet.
Yeah, buddy.
I love it. It sits on my speaker and I see it every day. And then the other thing that I have that I also look at and see every day, in fact, reach over and pick it up right here, is the first thing that I ever owned that had anything to do with Justin Herbert. And it's a Justin Herbert coin that Mr. Kevin Duggan got me for, I think it was Christmas last year.
Now that is a fucking slammer right there.
That is a slammer. That's Hogs. Watch your back. I've got the fucking slammer to end all slammers. Bam! Herbo for the win. Offensive Rookie of the Year coin. Those are definitely.
Let's get our slammers together and go to Slam Town. Am I right?
Come on down to Slam Town.
You guys slam it up.
You're too young. You didn't know about slamming.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you, JR, for asking the question. We move on now to Daniel Llewellyn, who asked the question.
Okay. Sorry I missed last week, boys. I was shredding the Nar waves over on dim Hawaiian Islands, brochachos. My question is, do you feel like there's potential to re-sign Kaiser White if he keeps balling out? 'Cause he rips, bros, in my opinion. Can later on, dudes. P.S. Thank you for the mag.
All right. Daniel one of the winners. Yeah. Okay, so Kaiser White, if he keeps balling out, I think he's had a good off season. I've heard that he's made some great plays on practice. he's been a staple of the defense for quite a few years now. So I don't see.
He just hasn't been healthy. I think that's the problem. I think if
that's been part of it, definitely.
If you can get a healthy Kaiser White, he's not an expensive player right now. So I think it's easily, he has a good season. It wouldn't be that hard to bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what he's going to do because he's one of those safety linebacker hybrids that Staley needs in his defense. So it'll be exciting to see what he actually does this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I think his versatility wasn't utilized previously. He was hurt a lot, but he's not just a middle linebacker. He's not a safety. He's both. So having a guy that can move around and show different things is vital in our new defense. So I think he will be a little bit more expensive after this year, hopefully, because he has a good year. But I would love to see him.
There you go.
I want all of our guys to be expensive as shit after this year. Like for real. That means we did something real good. Because usually when you have Super Bowl teams, a lot of guys depart because they get big contracts.
They're ready to make money.
Go make that extra money. So go make that. Give us one good year. Go make that extra money. Get us a ring, baby.
Everybody wins in those situations. So there you go. Thank you, Daniel Llewellyn, for asking the question. We move on now to Bolt Up 97, who asked the question.
Whoa! Dang it, Bobby. How many times do we have to listen to people underrate J Herb? Boy, I tell you what, this year he is going to be selling propane and propane accessories against every team. My question is, where will Herb rank realistically after this year?
That was the worst Hank Hill, guys. I'm so sorry.
A for effort.
Yeah. Okay. So let's focus on the question and not my voice. Justin Herbert.
Top
Fifth?
five.
Top five?
Number five. I think he's top three. I think Mahomes and Rodgers they're on good teams always, and they're just in the spotlight. I really think he could work his way into that third spot.
Yeah. Take that, Lamar Jackson and whoever else.
Well, Lamar Jackson he's a niche quarterback that doesn't have all the tools that Justin has.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think Lamar Jackson's in the talk. Josh Allen, obviously, the guy who just signed his big fat contract. I mean, Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
There's
Justin's
a lot
better
of good
than all those
quarterbacks.
guys.
I think Justin is better.
I think he could be better than all those guys. By the end
I think
of the
he
year.
absolutely could be too. Yeah, top three. I like it. Good call.
Okay, top three. Change my mind.
Fuck it. Number one.
Fuck it.
There you go. All right. Well, good question there, Bolt Up 97. Thanks for asking the question. And we finally end this Ask Boltfam with a final question from Coach Lago.
With the 100th episode final question. You got
100th
it, Coach.
episode, Coach Lago taking us out. Goes something like this.
Okay. I know it's camp, but we have more important issues. There's things that need to be settled from last week. Our Bolts are under 10 this year with a 4th down to win the Super Bowl in SoFi, okay? But the CC crew must make sacrifices. Bolt check coach. Here's your sacrifice, okay? Ted Dean's face with a thank you in a visible spot, all right? Wool Dog, cut the beard and grow whatever comes in up top for 1 year, no hats. And Huggin has to tat that Coach is the superior Duggan and can't talk shit to any AFC rivals for a year. Does Herbert get it done?
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, obviously calling us out for being weenies last
I have to acknowledge Kyle's the alpha between the Duggan brothers.
Yeah, Coach is superior Duggan and can't talk shit to any AFC rivals.
West.
Yeah, so you can't talk shit to any Raiders, Broncos,
for a Super Bowl?
Chiefs for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I could do that shit. I'll do it.
You'll tat Dean's face with a thank you?
Not on my face, but I'll put it somewhere you could see it. Sure.
Right.
I'll just laugh at it.
All right.
It's like Steve-O on the back, like, yeah.
Yeah.
Just get Dean Spanos going, yeah. That would suck pretty fucking whole back tattoo.
I'll do that for our fan base to win a Super Bowl.
Or just a nice big like smooch, just like just a big kiss from Dean. Yeah, I would totally cut my beard and grow out my hair.
What would the hair look like?
Oh, it would be. It's gotten much thinner, so it would be like wispy. It'd be like probably be like Bill Murray in Kingpin, like when it's just like flopping around out there, because it's there. Like there's hair up there, but it ain't as strong as it used to be. So it's probably gonna look like Bill Murray in Kingpin, which I would gladly do for a Super Bowl. 100%.
I can easily allow my brother to be the better one, and I'll stop talking shit. Like I get out of this pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, you get out of it pretty fine. You just got to shut your yap for a year.
Shut your fucking mouth, Huggin. All right, fine.
All right. Well, there you go, Coach Lago, and there you go, everybody, for our 100th episode.
Thanks for joining us for 100, man. This is crazy.
It's a big deal for us, and we thank you guys for sticking with us all along the way. Folks, don't forget to bolt up, because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, love you. Hang on a second. Hang on a second, folks. Before we let you go, one last thing. For those of you that stuck to the very end of our 100th episode, we have a little surprise for you. Ooh. We are only promoting this, folks, right here, right now. We are giving away the Charger Chat tickets to the preseason game against the 49ers, August 22nd. You will get 3 tickets and a parking pass. We wanted to offer this to those of you that stick with us all the way to the very end. We only ask 2 things. 1, you got to be available to personally be at the game and send us photographic proof of the awesome time you are having. And 2, you need to spread the Charger Chat shameless positivity to everyone you see at the game, especially everyone in our section. All you have to do to enter is go onto Twitter or Instagram, and the 100th episode post, reply with hashtag Charger Chat Easter egg, and tell us your favorite Wool Dog boys.
Get some tickets, man. We just wanted to share it with you guys that hang with us all the way to the very end, all the way through the K Love You buys.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do this on Twitter and get a whole bunch of people following us, and then we hand it out to somebody we don't know. For you guys to stick around, we want people in our seats representing us. So want to do something special for you guys. 100th
That's
episode.
right. So if you can go to the game, we want to get you there, and we want you to enter into this contest. So hashtag Charger Chat Easter egg on our 100th episode post. Don't tell nobody. All right, just you keep it to yourselves, okay?
Do not invite any 49er friends. I'm
No.
sorry.
Sweet sassy
Just
Malassie.
not allowed.
If
Don't
that
do it.
happens, we'll
be sad.
We'll be shamelessly sad.
There's
We'll be
nothing
real
we'll be
sad.
able to do about it. We'll
There's
just
nothing we can
be
do, but we'll
sad.
be real sad.
So there you go, folks. An opportunity to get tickets to the preseason game against the 49ers. Hop onto those Twitters and Instagrams and leave us those hashtags. That's going to do it for us, folks. Don't forget to bolt up. We're ready for any squad, any place.
K Love You bye.
K Love You bye again.
K Love You bye. Again. Part 2.
Kyle, shotgun another beer.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Got yourself a flat tire? Don't worry, sport, because you'll remember to bring your Chris Rumph air pump. Chris Rumph air pump ensures you get where you need to go no matter the obstacles. When you're feeling low and you need a boost, reach for your Chris Rumph air pump. Order your Chris Rumph air pump and get filled up today.